Coming up on OTH, there's no patch notes to talk about this week, so we're jumping right into content with Uzi's return and was Alphari bullied out of Team Liquid. Then all we have to talk about this week is the LCS Summer Split Week 3, and as well as what we're looking forward to in Week 4 of the Summer Split. We hope you enjoy this episode of On the Hunt. Welcome, everybody, to episode 18 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. I'm your co-host, Chris, aka the digital window shopper, because today's Amazon Prime Day, dude, and I just be shopping. Well, I just be looking. I don't really be shopping, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, dude. You've been unemployed for too long. It's only recently that you've even had the cash flow to be shopping, right?
Yeah. In my world, we call it the liquidity.
The
You're so
Dogecoin
stupid.
day trader world, dude. You're talking about liquidity.
Yeah. And yeah, but I just like to look at Amazon, look at whatever's out there. I don't really buy anything though. And joining me on this episode today is our lovely co-host Raymond. What's going on, man?
Not much for me, man. More of the same for the most part. Been getting some league in. Been,
Yeah,
yeah, just, hanging out.
just hanging out, dude. I got a couple league games in, played some late night ARAMs with the Dirty Boys, and had a little bit of fun with that. You've been playing a lot of AD carry or some other roles. What's happening there?
Yeah, I've been on it's been mostly AD carry, I think. We've been on a bit of an ARAM grind. I've been on a bit of an ARAM grind. I've been on, I feel like some rough ARAM patches for me. But yeah, been playing AD carry. I tried
It's
out,
it's
I
the
tried out some,
patch.
yeah, I tried out some Viego jungle. That champ was fun, dude. I only played a game or two,
Uh
but
huh.
I liked him.
Yeah, actually, I don't think I've ever played him yet, so I should actually give him a try, and probably Gwen as well. I feel like Gwen is a champion I would actually like. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
But she's like too dummy OP for you. Like you don't want to abuse it or what?
No, I'm just too nervous to play a new champion and then feed on it when I know it's OP, but then I'm just too nervous to perform. I get that a lot. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
yeah, we don't got a lot to talk about this week. So there's no patch to talk about just yet. We did the preview last week for 11.13. Should be dropping tomorrow with the final notes, and then we'll talk about it next week. So for now, we can just jump right into content unless you have more feelings to talk about.
Not really. Not really. We'll cover whatever, and when it comes to picks of the week, and the like.
All right, dude. So the first thing we got coming up here is a little report by our good old TG Travis Gafford, who reportedly is discussing that the LCS teams quote unquote made a vote to abolish the academy system so that they don't that well they voted to get rid of the requirement to have an academy team as part of being in the LCS system. And then what I have is that Chris Greeley, who is the commissioner of the LCS, I believe,
Mhm.
he tweeted out that the LCS teams, in fact, did not have a vote, and that's pretty much as far as I followed it. I think it's pretty. I think starting back with the, just insinuating that the LCS teams don't want an academy, don't want to have to field an academy team anymore,
Mhm.
as like a requirement, and have to pick up an extra 5 players in addition to your main roster all of the time, and having to actually put an effort and somewhat some interest into growing an academy team and putting resources behind it in terms of staff and players, obviously. I think that's honestly that's not too unreasonable. Well, maybe that's unsurprising considering I was kind of on the side of abolishing. Not I'm not on the side of abolishing the import rule, but I can see why the LCS teams would want that. So it's not such a crazy or insane idea. It's just kind of sad that if it is true that they want to do it, and then there's people in the academy system who need it to be able to play in LCS, and if it's not there, then how are they supposed to get a chance?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't care too much about the whole drama around the reports too much, but the idea. I mean, I think same as you. I'm not too surprised that the LCS teams would not want to have to. It seems, especially the last year or two, where there's been a lot of talk about teams. I mean, financial stuff, just on its own. A lot of teams haven't been able to dedicate the same kind of spending as some of the top teams that obviously. like you said, fielding staff and players for a whole academy team is just a lot extra. But it does, I mean, like, I think that this last year with like how they've done amateur stuff seems like it's done pretty well. And so I'd imagine that's like a lot of the push for, some teams to say like, oh, we don't want to do academy or like have to. But I would think that you should wait, like they should wait a little bit longer at least to try and pull out of it, because like I think a lot of people are drawing comparisons to like the LEC and the European regional leagues, and those are just such different, like more well established teams that are like leagues and things like that are already just like so huge. I don't think we have anything in NA that's like that, even though amateur and academy this split I feel like has done better than it has probably in years past.
Yeah, I feel like it's also kind of a shame, like you said, that I feel like amateur is kind of growing to actually be something, and those amateur teams are competing with academy teams in terms of gameplay.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it feels weird that like they've been doing proving grounds for a couple of years. I feel like that whole system has been getting better and better each year, with improvements to how they recruit players and how those winners of proving grounds actually go on to get recruited. So I felt like a lot of that stuff has been a success, and they're looking to, well, the LCS team owners are voting to get rid of it, which is fine. That doesn't mean they can't still
Do it
also
right.
like cultivate young talent, yeah, or field academy or youth rosters. So all in all, that's kind of like the end of the conversation, is that allegedly they had a vote to get rid of it, and then we'll see where it goes from there. We'll see if that's something that takes place at the end of this year. We'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I think on that note too, I think it's probably important to note, like I don't think there's any way that like TSM, TL, 100 Thieves, like those three seem like they already have so much value that they've gotten out of and put into their like lower teams, that I can't see if that requirement was removed that they'd get rid of it anyway. Like I think for the most part, a lot of LCS teams would still hold on to people somehow.
Yeah, I think so too. Or at least they would like find pride in still continuing to field an academy roster,
Right.
or at least a backup roster or of some sort, um, as like a, well, at least we do it, and so and so team doesn't do it anymore because they don't have to.
Right. You get some good Twitter beef out of that.
And I feel like yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. It's just like clout, I guess. Next up on the list, we got a little short video of Uzi talking about how he wants to try out for an LPL team next year, which is when his contract is supposed to be up. I guess I don't really know too much, but to my understanding, he's still contracted to Royal Never Give Up, and so he's just been sitting there. And I think it's been like 2 years now since he's retired.
It's been 2 years already.
And then
Yeah,
he
I
said,
guess.
allegedly on, well, not allegedly, on, he's been caught in 4K on camera
Yeah.
on stream saying that he wants to try out for an LPL team at the start of next year. And so there's that. Does that have you excited or anything?
I mean, I think it's cool. I don't like. I'm an ADC player, so like I like Uzi, but not like I'm not a like fanboy. Watched every single one of his games or anything. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool to see him come back. It's definitely been, I don't know. It feels weird to not have him like show up to international tournaments. It's almost like Doublelift and Bjergsen leaving, same thing. Like it's just like, oh shit, Uzi's not playing anymore.
Yeah, and what has me interested is he's one of the players who like notoriously has a lot of health issues. Like I believe he has like a bad back and fucked up hands from playing so much,
Yeah.
and pretty like not really adverse conditions, but just like rough training conditions, I suppose, of like playing 18 hours a day and whatnot. And so I'm glad to see that like he's kind of willing to come back. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think he put a lot of effort into solving a lot of those issues. I think that was like I remember I mean, he took a lot of time off the last couple of years that he did play, like of just he'd take a break or whatever, and it was because of those health issues. I think a lot of the time. So I think now, like
Yes.
now that he actually had an extended retirement, it was a lot of the first year at least was to address it. I think, and then he came back to streaming and playing and all that, and so now I think it's a pretty good sign that he's probably in good shape.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy to see a player overcome that thing, and then I hope that players in the future don't have to suffer through something like that. Because as somebody who has had fucked up hands at one point in time, it really sucks when like you feel like you can't practice anymore.
Yeah.
or you want to practice more, and you just like you really shouldn't.
Right.
And I'm sure that he did.
I just hope he doesn't come to NA. I'll be honest. Think that'd be dooms.
Yeah, doom for CLG or doom for him. We'll see. One or the other.
CLG's already doomed. They don't need more help.
That's true. That's true. And then the last thing we have on our topic list today is a small little video by my main man Thorin, who I appreciate a lot. And he made a kind of a funny out of nowhere video where he was discussing that the reason that Alphari, long story short, the reason that Alphari is likely benched from the TL main roster is because he doesn't like their head coach Jat, and that out of ego, Jat benched Alphari, and then there's just a bunch of contract clauses where Alphari can't say anything about that. He can't disparage the team in any way publicly, so there's like nothing he can really like speak out against if there's messages being put out into the world about how he's benched for X or Y reason, and then like he can't say anything that's true or anything like that per his contract likely. And so yeah, that's pretty much it, long story short. And in addition to Alphari allegedly not liking Jat and therefore leading to his benching, but also in that many of the other TL players don't like Jat's coaching style, or that the coaching style of Jat is kind of like looks down on people in a way, kind of like borderline abusive or bullying in a sense of allegedly. And so it sounds like you've got something to say. I'll let you hop in on here.
Yeah.
To me, from what I can remember, that's the long story short, is that allegedly Jat is a bully to the TL players, and the TL players don't really like him all that much.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, when you sent this video to me, like it was the night after, or the night like right after we recorded, or like the day after, and you're all like, dude, this is homework. We're gonna be talking about this next week. And I was just like, dude, I don't like. I had to think about it because I was like, I don't watch Thorin like honestly at all. Like, I think he's kind of just not my style of entertainer, I suppose.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And this stuff, I don't know. I've seen all the weird shit that he puts on Twitter, and the way he gets in beefs with people is just like, man, grow up a little bit. But I don't know. Some of the stuff that he said in this sounded so weirdly conspiracy about it. Like, and it's like one of those. I already feel like it's dumb to talk about, or like I don't even want to engage with like saying like, dude, this is all bullshit, because he already like in the interviews or in the videos all like, and now I know as soon as you say like, oh, it's all bullshit, I'm making this up, and it's like, well, I'm the one with sources, you stupid TSM fan from season 6 or whatever. And I'm like, dude, like fuck off, it just sounds unbelievable, and you're already yelling at me. Come on. I don't know.
Exactly you.
It felt fucking weird, dude. Like I don't know. So much of it just sounded like he was a little unhinged about it all. Like he talked about being like he has personal things with Jat, and so I take all that at a grain of salt too. He talked about like the Santorin benching at or spring finals, and I was like, didn't they just say like he was sick? Like, was that a conspiracy? Was any of that like questioned? I don't remember that. I don't know, man. It was all a little wild for me to think that it's as bad as he portrayed it.
Yeah, the Santorin thing was a little much, but all in all, I found that it was interesting that like there's so much mystery behind it all of like whether or not Alphari is going to come back, or why he was benched in the first place. After the way that he played in Spring Split, and then he gets to play one game coming back into Summer Split, and then that's it. It's like, it's from the outside it looks very like spontaneous,
yeah,
and spur of the moment.
Yeah, I agree with that stuff. I mean, we'll see, right? It's one week away until Alphari is supposed to be available again, right? At least his break will be ended. We'll see what happens then.
Yeah, so we'll see if he ends up coming back. But this past weekend was the third week of the LCS Summer Split, and so that means a full round robin has come by, and every team has played each team once. And we can be done with this topic and just hop right into the LCS. Yeah, starting with some on that same topic, roster changes of Darduck coming out of the main roster after one game this weekend, and Acadian being put in for Saturday and Sunday. And I don't know if Darduck's coming back, but kind of a weird move out of nowhere, where I felt like Darduck had a strong spring split and then wasn't so bad at the start, but I have heard that Friday's game was kind of weird on his end, and then Acadian came right in, played like a Diana game, and then one more on Sunday. Yeah, do you have any thoughts on Darduck being taken out of the Dignitas roster?
I don't know, dude. It's one of those. It's not that surprising to me. I didn't watch the game on Friday to know if it was like he inted. I can't verify that, but
I heard he entered.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It just feels kind of bad. It's like par for the course for Dardock at this point. Like they finally like Dick had a pretty good split last split. They're still like top six now. Obviously Summer Split started out a bit more rough for them than I'm sure they would have liked. I think people maybe expected them to have some momentum from spring. Yeah, I don't know, dude. It feels bad. I like my boy Acadian though. I'll vouch for him. So it was fun to see him come in and play. But yeah, I don't know what to say about Dardock.
Yeah, I'm glad Acadian gets his time to shine. I feel like he's been in and out of academy rosters for nearly 2 years now, ever since he played on TSM in 2019. Yeah, he's pretty much been in and out of LCS and academy.
Hmm.
So I'm glad to see he's still out there, kind of like um, just doing it up for his boy Demonte, who is
Yeah.
also shuffling back and forth between main and academy. So I'm happy for him. And then another small addition to a roster just today was Golden Guardians adding on Apollo as a positional coach to their team.
Dude,
So
let's
I'm
go
sure
Apollo.
he's making moolah now after he was playing in academy, or no, he was playing in amateur rosters, I think, for like the last 6 months or so. And
Yeah,
then they also
was
picked
he on
up
one of
an
the
analyst.
was he on one of the like the solo fight or something that got uh
I
all
think
that
that was it,
controversy? Because
actually.
I because
Yeah,
he
I
I don't
think
remember him actually like playing in any tournaments. I think it was like I think he got caught up in that if I remember right.
yeah, I think he was on like, if I recall, he was on a pretty stacked team with like Zazel and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, because I remember like trying to look up where all these players were, since there was like a huge missing chunk of players from last split to this split.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess I didn't realize that he may not even be playing amateur anymore, and or even keeping up with his skills possibly. But yeah, he's been added on as a positional coach, so we'll see if anything ever happens there. But not that like not that Stixay or Apollo would probably make a huge difference if one was taken out over the other.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the only thing that might happen would be drama if Solo starts to tell Apollo like, "Oh yeah, dude, all you have to do is just say you're a positional coach, and then eventually you can just bench him and come in as on your own." Like it's all part of the plan. If Solo's trying to plant that in his brain, then that'd be Stixay's worry. But I don't think it'll happen. I think it's just cool that he got a gig.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, and then let's talk week 3 of the LCS Summer Split. I'll go over the standings right now. At the top, we've got TSM at 19-8 after going 3-0 this weekend. Right behind them in second place is 100 Thieves at 18-9. Then tied for third and fourth is Cloud9 and TL at 17-10, with Cloud9 going 0-3 and TL going 2-1. EG and Dignitas are at 5th and 6th with a 14-13 record. EG actually went 2-1 this weekend, and while Dig had 1-2. We might get into those a little bit later. IMT bounces back after an 0-3 week 2 with a 12-15 record, having gone 2-1 at 7th place. Next up, we have FlyQuest and CLG tied for 8th and 9th with a 9-18 record, having opposite win-loss records this weekend, with CLG having a 3-0 weekend. And then lastly, in 10th place, we have Golden Guardians, who went 2-1 this weekend. Or no, they went 1-2 this weekend, picking up another win, doing a lot better than they did in Spring Split already. And so they're 6-21 right now.
Yeah, dude. Any standouts to you?
Standouts, well, I guess we'll start with CLG, dude. That one's a standout to me.
That's true.
I think they had some really great games this weekend. I actually caught the first two. For some reason, I actually like paid attention to them, and they were playing some kind of cool comp. I would think it was like Vi Galio or something like that.
Yeah.
I believe it's Callista bottom as well.
Yeah, I wasn't anybody paying attention to that, dude. I was just watching Vi. I think I was busy, but like I saw it on my phone. I'm like, holy shit, they're playing Vi and Galio. What's going on?
Yeah, it's kind of the same way where like, oh, at least on the Saturday game, I think they were playing against EG, and Broxon Vi just like kept ulting the support, and it kept working out. Oh, I think no, Wild Turtle's playing Tristana. I remember now. And like they would just like Vi ult the rel, and everybody would jump on the rel,
Yeah.
and so they'd kill that one person, and then like for some reason that works every time, and like the rel wouldn't get off any of her skills, and then I guess the enemy team wouldn't have any engaged tools to like fight back, and it just made it really easy for Tristana to like keep free hitting everybody
Yeah.
after they kill this one person. So it was really interesting, and I'm glad that they finally found their stride and had their first 3-0 weekend, and now they're possibly in contention to make the playoffs at the end.
Yeah, I mean, you only have to be top 8, right? So now that if they keep on this trajectory, I think they obviously have that secured. But it's a pretty high trajectory. But yeah, I mean, Broxley even got himself a Player of the Week. That's pretty sick. The Vi Master apparently. I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah, it's well
nuts.
deserved.
Yeah, well deserved.
What about you? Any other standouts for you this weekend?
I mean, we got to see TSM pull off the 3-0 also against. I mean, like they played C9 on Sunday and kind of made C9 look a little silly. They had the pretty crazy game with what was it, Immortals on Friday. That one was a
Yes,
banger.
that's probably my game of the. That's my game of the week. Honestly, is like that. That game was awesome with the way that it was back and forth and showing off Ziggs before he even gets the buff from the current patch
Yeah.
of the missile speed on his ulti. So I'm pretty cool that they brought out Ziggs middle from IMT, and they showed some life in that game. And then they lost that first game on Friday, but then won 2 more throughout the weekend. So they're finding their stride. But I will say that for Immortals, dude, Revenge has got to clean up his play, because sometimes he's hurting his team's chances, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know. I haven't watched. I guess I haven't watched too many Immortals games. I just remember him. He came on Hotline League a few weeks ago, and he was getting flamed by his coach there too. So it's probably still the same.
Yeah, another thing I want to bring up is I feel like TL has been having some really close games lately. At least this past weekend, like you watch TL's games, and you you don't get a feeling that, oh, they're for sure gonna win this one for like a very large portion of the game. Like literally, like they're losing until they win, if kind of feeling.
Hmm.
Where like they have some good things going out, but like you can watch their games and it just feels like I really can't call this game one way or another until like 35 minutes in.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's probably. I mean, it has some of that has to be Alphari's out of here, right? Like it's not just because Alphari is like so much better than Jenkins, but just that they've practiced for so long with Alphari, and like there's got to be some growing pains to having to adjust your playstyle so drastically. But yeah, I don't know. It's rough. I mean, it's rough for them. They've managed to keep their record up. They're still right up there with Cloud9, who is similarly trying to throw as many of their games as possible.
Yeah, and yeah, speaking of rough, we have Cloud9 going 0-3 this week, and then FlyQuest going 0-3 this week as well, with a little clip of Jose Diodo getting his Kindred Scuttle taken with a mark on it for the 4th mark
Yeah,
for
that
the
was
range
pretty sad.
increase. That's a pretty tragic clip that I saw today of that happening. Thank God I didn't like see that in person, because I probably would have mauled my eyes out.
I think I caught some of that game where it was the double lifted Meteos and Sneaky co-stream, and Meteos was just like so angry at it. Just
Yeah, dude.
hard playing what was going on. I think I tuned in after the steal had happened, but he was just like it carried over like well past that. Just it was kind of rough to listen to.
Yeah, dude, that was some shared like soul connection from jungler to jungler of like, dude, you like, as somebody who plays Zoe, when you take my W bubbles, I get angry, dude. So I can't even imagine like
Yeah.
you taking my kindred mark, when it's like, dude, what are
It
you
was,
doing?
yeah,
Stop.
like an uncontested scuttle crab. Like, just come on, man, let him have it.
Yeah, and then it's just worse that they lose that game as well.
Yeah, you have to think, would the one scuttle have made the difference? But yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough.
But yeah, I had a good time with week 3, and then like I said before, that rounds out the first round robin of the summer split.
Yeah, dude.
I guess I've been thinking about, I should start writing out what the records are for like summer split only, because I only write out like total score and then also week by week. But I guess when we think about summer split only, I think TSM would still be up there, probably like 7-2. I think
Yeah, I think
100
so.
Thieves would be up there, probably having gone like also 7-2. Now that I think about it, I think they only lost 2 games throughout the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe they lost one the first week, right? I don't know. I forget.
Yeah, I'm not keeping track, but
Yeah.
it would still pretty much be TSM, Cloud9, and TL up top, with Cloud9 probably being down in like 6 or 7 place right now since they had a pretty poor first and third week so far. But yeah, I feel like this split is going by pretty weird so far. We still there's not too much separation between the top and the bottom teams in terms of like moving on from last split to this split. It's still the same teams in the top 5 and bottom 5, but maybe the numbers are changing around a little bit, with the bottom half catching up to the middle, but also the middle still catching up to the top 4 as well. So at any time, if you have like another 0-3 week or even a 1-2 week, you can be overtaken for your placement. They're pretty close with like first and second and third all being 1 game apart. It's actually not too bad, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a lot of the format changes coming to fruition. Like I think you said, like if we had pulled just summer stats, I think that CLG and C9 have the same summer record so far. So if this was just like a brand new split, right, then you'd have them like tied for sixth or whatever it is. And instead, CLG is still in ninth place and 7 games behind like the fourth place team, right? So you still, I mean, they're still technically in playoffs right now, right? If we cut it, they might have to have a tiebreaker or something. But I think this is, I mean, this is the kind of thing I think this is good for the league in terms of like making it interesting week to week, but also not making single best of 1 games so high stakes for teams going to playoffs and stuff like that.
Agreed. I'm liking the way that the scores combine from both the summer and spring split so far.
It feels
Okay,
so,
and then we can also talk about. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it feels so much more like following longer seasons of like traditional sports, which is something I do also. So it's definitely more at home to see these like longer, like just bigger number records and being able to track kind of overall performance that way.
Yeah, dude. In fact, the way that we should do it is there should be a West Coast server and an East Coast server, and they should just play 2 different LCSs, and then at the end, the West Coast winner plays the East Coast winner, and that would solve all of our ping issues, and then we'll go to international events, and we'll just play bangers because we've been playing on 6 ping just like the rest of the world.
Yeah, I wish it would be that way. I just can't imagine that it would work out. We'll see. One day maybe.
One day, dude. Okay, and then we can also talk about the games that we're looking forward to next week for week 4 of the summer split. I was taking a look at the schedule, and I think that Saturday and Sunday could be fun. I lost it. Let me pull it up again.
Yeah, definitely some bangers coming up on the later weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to on Saturday. I'm looking forward to 100 Thieves and C9, as well as TL versus CLG. In a weird way, I feel like that game can actually be exciting.
Yeah.
It has the potential for it. And then also on Sunday, I'm looking forward to TSM versus TL as well. That's going to be it for me. What about you? Any exciting games coming your way?
Yeah, I think I echo those ones that you said. Also, I think on Saturday, if you're looking out for, honestly, I think any EG games can be exciting. So I'm looking at EG versus TSM, and I'm thinking that'll be a banger probably, especially after what the hell happened against with the IMT game. Like I think some wacky shit might happen in that game. TSM and TL on Saturday or on Sunday, like you said, and I think CLG versus C9 will actually be a pretty banger game to end that week. Because now that we're seeing CLG like on going to the moon, and then we've got Cloud9 kind of trying to go down to the dumpster. That's a big kind of step up game for CLG to prove like, hey, yeah, we're actually going to beat top teams and stay here and make playoffs and all that kind of stuff. And at the same time, it's like if C9 continues their downward trend and loses even to CLG, then you're like, holy shit, really, we need to bring back Sven and maybe buy Alphari and maybe do whatever it takes to stop losing games.
Yeah, that would be interesting. We'll definitely have to keep an eye out for C9 for CLG because, like you said, that could have implications for not for the rest of the split, but like the trajectory of both teams of like just the tilt factor.
Yeah.
Also, that actually just reminds me that like it's pretty cool that I just found out that they started doing like free pro view like showings for each of the games. So like they'll just give you like one person's perspective for each of the games that happens.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's pretty cool. I didn't try it for myself, but you know, it's pretty cool that you can just watch like a pro AD carry or from like their perspective, kind of like a stream.
Hmm.
But like you know, it's a real LCS match, so they're focused, and you get to see what it is that they look at, how they ping, how they play, where their mouse is, and that sort of thing. And so, to my understanding, Jizuke's Pro View was free this week, and
I
that
think
shit
they
was
try to make Jizuke Preview free at least once every week in their games. I'm pretty sure.
yeah. And so apparently he's an interesting guy to watch. So that's that's the least I can say.
I won't rest until we see more people pulling up MS Paint to send messages to the fans during Preview. That's still
Yeah,
that's
and
still
then
the
we'll see it.
greatest.
We'll see the messages on FBI's POV when he's pressing
Yeah, when
Z
he's
for the
spamming
whole
Z,
game.
holy shit.
Yeah, dude, that guy has like a nervous twitch or something.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding. But like,
Jizuke does that
it's
too,
pretty
actually,
crazy how.
when they watch his Preview.
Yeah, like at least if you're gonna press the button, then let's keep track of some timers. All right,
True.
like at least do something with like your twitchy hands, or like if you're keeping up your APM or something. Like
Yeah.
there's stuff you can do instead of that. Of if you need to like press something out of like maybe a nervous twitch, or like it just makes you comfortable or something. Like there's got to be some you. It's like it's high APM, but it's not effective, so to speak. So it doesn't do anything for you.
It's keeping you warm for when you actually have to do high APM stuff.
Yeah, I can actually like agree with that with like because you know, have you ever been in those situations where like your finger just wasn't on the flash button, so like you couldn't flash it, but like when you anticipate Malphite ulting you, you just preemptively place your finger on your flash button so that you're you know you're ready for it to happen, and it's like very likely that you can do it correctly within like the last few frames of it being possible. And so I'm sure that has a lot to do with it of like legit just being ready to press buttons when you need that to be pressing them,
Yeah.
and like kind of I can't think of the word right now, but just like preemptively doing it and being prepared to do so.
And if it's not that, then we'll at least just give them the benefit of the doubt, you know. They're pro players, I believe.
Yeah, they're pro players. Speaking of which, dude, what is your left hand layout for how you play place your fingers on the keyboard? So I'll tell you mine. It's my ring finger is on Q. So my middle finger is on W and my index finger is on E. And then I have my thumb on spacebar and my left pinky on shift. And so if I need to ulti, then I need to reach over with my index finger. And if I need to cast summoners, I have to shift I have to move my index finger down one row in just to flash. So like if I need to flash, I have to move my hand in order to flash. Like I don't have a finger already there. And then I rebind my stuff. So I think no, I don't rebind it. But anyway, so I have my trinket on 4, and then I usually, if my champion has one item to use, I usually put it on 2, 2 and 3. If I have like let's say like Hydra and Ghostblade or something, I'll usually do like 2 and 3. Or like Rocket Belt, Zanyas, the Zanyas will be on 3, or QSS will be on 3, and Gale Force would be on 2. Like usually the offensive stuff on 2 and defensive on 3 if I ever have more than one. And then support's a whole nother beast since they have fucking 10 actives. But yeah, so
but
that's
you
my
only ever
whole
get
left
like one
hand.
item, dude. Come on, it's support.
True. So that's my whole left hand layout. What do you do when you place your fingers on the keyboard?
Yeah, I mean, I think about it. I think I mean, I was a WASD gamer. You know, I mean, I always played WASD games before League, so I think I always had it. Like my default is always still like it's on AWD, like my ring, middle, and index finger. But
Right.
but basically it ends up being the same thing as you. Like I'm QWE, ring, middle, index, then left pinky on shift, thumb on space. I think I put my trinket on T, and then I have like spells or like active items I'll put on 1 or 2. I kind of just make that up. I just have to tell myself during the game it's just 1 or 2. If I have multiple or whatever, I don't think I have them on lock, like what item goes where all the time.
For sure. So I bring that up because what the fuck finger is FBI using to press Z unless he rebinds that button to show chat? Then like I don't understand like what button he could be pressing. If it has to be something on that side of the keyboard, because no way he's
Yeah.
pressing something like no way he's pressing G or H. So it has to be either like any of the bottom row keys, like Z, X, or C,
Maybe he does it with
because it
his
can't be
thumb.
A or
Like he has his
like
hand at a weird angle and does it with his thumb. I don't know. I still
yeah,
you
that
still
could be
remember.
where like
Did you watch Shifter ever? Like, did you watch his streams and stuff?
no, no,
Shifter
I don't.
would exclusively move his camera with the arrow keys with his right hand.
So he'll take his hand off the
Well,
mouse, or
actually,
he'll
no.
just
I think he moves it. No, he
or
moved it with his
his
left hand. He would take his hand over to move the arrow keys to move his camera.
that
Like
is
on
kind
the
of
other
weird.
side of the keyboard. That shit was wild. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he rebounded to something FBI did. Cause you could, I mean, you can put it on like C, right? What is C for? C is like some ping,
I don't
and just
know.
do it
I
with your
think
thumb.
yeah, like yeah, it's possible. Like you can rebind it to C or even B and do it with your thumb. But then like that's got to be counterproductive for how your muscles work in your hand and like trying to use your other fingers,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
guess.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
I totally just made that up, by the way. I'm not a fucking physical therapist
I
or
no,
something.
I'm sure that it would be fucked to bring your like thumb like in like that. Yeah, no. But I'm sure that it's already fucked most of the time for guys using. I mean, just keyboards in general. It's fucked. But yeah, who
Yeah, but
knows?
yeah, slow news day. So we're talking about this. That's it for me. So to round out this episode, we can talk about some picks of the week and then call it a day.
Yeah, dude. I mean, now, yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's do it. I've thought too much about like what the fuck my hand was doing during games. So take it away.
All right. Yeah, I'll take it away. I'll get started with this. I've got a kind of a troll pick of the week this week. So I'm going to say that for my pick of the week this week is going to be Jarvan and ARAM. Every time that Jarvan is in the pool when I play ARAM, I always pick him because I love going in. And I feel like that's skillful actually to know how to pick your fights and to get the most out of like Jarvan knockups, Jarvan ultis, and being able to like literally like limit test when you play Jarvan in ARAM. I feel like it's an art for sure, and he does really well with Snowball,
Yeah.
and you just do it up for your team, and you will die a lot. Do not get me wrong, but it's the right thing to do.
I respect that, dude. I think I remember when Nexus Splits first came out, I was playing a shit ton of Jarvan and just going like bruiser engage Jarvan, where it's just like see hero, jump on hero, make them fight you. But I get the same feeling. I play a lot of ARAM like that too, and play I don't play Zac every game that he's up, but like I was an old school Zac player, and so I'll play him sometimes when I see him in ARAM, and it's just like the only thing that champion does is go in, so I'll go in. I lose like every single game that I pick him, so that's also why I don't pick him in ARAM. But it's fun to be the engage in ARAM games for sure.
Yeah. And then yeah, in previous seasons I would just build like full lethality and just try to like blow somebody up. I actually have like this weird theory that like it's okay to 1-for-1 in ARAM if you're playing like somebody who can build full damage, because eventually you'll kill somebody and you won't die. And then that's just strictly like a plus for your team. So eventually you'll deal like if you killing one person and dying is 100% effectiveness, then you killing somebody and then doing another person's health bar to 50%, that's 100 like 150% effectiveness for your team of like you outputting and then also starting the fight and then also killing somebody and then also blowing enemies like cooldowns. Like I feel like building full damage on people like Jarvan, Wukong, and that sort of thing, where like you can get shit started, but you can
Hmm.
also kill somebody and like potentially like cause more than one or two people to focus on you, but you still kill somebody. It's like I feel like it's not okay. But anyways, that's my little rant for Abraham.
Yeah,
You got a little picky of the weeky for me.
I got a little picky of the weeky for you, bud. Mine has got to be Ziggs, and it's not necessarily Ziggs bottom. I'm a bottom player myself, so it is Ziggs bottom for me. But you can play that champ in mid too. I think. You can play him support if you're decent at hitting your bombs and stuff. I think he does. Like the buffs made him actually like I don't know the breakpoints, but he can clear like backline. Earlier, he does just more damage. He's really strong. I think if you pick him bot lane against like immobile carries, like if you're up against like Varus's or Ash or something like that, Aphelios, if you have just that damage, that pressure to keep them like chunked in lane, because it's hard for people to farm. Like if you can hit your Qs on the backline minions and while they're nearby, you can keep them low and just keep them like completely zoned out of fights just by throwing ultis on them. And with the increased missile speed, it's like way easier to hit center sweet spot ultis with Ziggs. He's really good, I think. If you're a fan of artillery mages, give him a try.
Yeah, I remember you and I actually played a game sometime this week, and I was kind of surprised by the Ziggs damage, even for a bottom laner and not being that high up in levels. But you're pretty strong, just like barely 10 minutes into the game. I feel like we can, like, the damage is very surprising to me for somebody like who can just throw Qs because you want to, or even if you have like some CC to play off of, then it's definitely like a threat. And then actually having somewhat of escape tool with W as well. It's pretty strong actually. So yeah, I would recommend it, especially after seeing it in LCS, and I think it's surprisingly strong. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely, over the past few years, I think it's had its bright moments. Like it's come in and out of being able to be played in like as a bot lane carry role and that kind of stuff too. But it's so much fun when you get strong and you can like one shot turrets and everything. You just go around the map if you win lane, and that Ziggs is like the perfect champ for getting like the dream 15 turret plate game.
Yeah, and it's pretty exciting when you get to like one shot turrets with his W and stuff like that.
Hmm.
All right, and that's going to be it for episode 18 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on the service that you're listening to us on, if you're not already subscribed. We appreciate it if you would also give us a rating or hit the like button to show some support. And you can also find us on YouTube as well as your podcast player of choice, from Apple Podcasts to Spotify and so forth. We'll see you all next week for another episode of On the Hunt.
See you, gamers.